Welcome back, Ronin Renegades. I'm Lupine Fiasco, this is Daily Fab Gameplay, and today we're talking about Cindra. Legend Story Studios spoiled her hero text at Calling Portland last weekend, and while we can't do too much theory crafting without seeing at least one Draconic Dagger, I'm going to talk through my picks for Cindra's staples. I'll be talking a lot more about Draconic Ninjas in the coming weeks as we see more spoilers, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay in the know. You can also follow me on Blue Sky, join my Discord, and even subscribe to my Patreon for all sorts of bonus content and goodies. Now, getting down to it. We now know that Cindra is a 4 intellect, 40 health, royal draconic ninja with the following text, quote, "Whenever you hit a marked hero, create a fealty token. As a once per turn instant, you can pay 3 to equip up to 2 draconic daggers from your graveyard. This costs 1 resource less to activate for each draconic chain link you control," unquote. I've already posted a few videos to talk about the upside of fealty when combined with Powerhouse Art of the Dragon Blood, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Noah Bagelman's 1-card kill combo of Tunic plus Fealty plus Art of the Dragon Fire against low health opponents without damage prevention. Unfortunately, we still don't know how easy or difficult it will be to mark a hero, but assuming that it's a reasonably frequent occurrence, Cindra will have some very powerful turn cycles at her disposal. Moving on to her second ability. I loved Kodachi 5 back in the day, and the only reason I stopped playing it is that aggro heroes started getting more armor. It was just too difficult to go above rate and race with Mask of Momentum value when my opponents could simply put a Tempered Chest or Gauntlet in front of the Kodachi to stop my draw, then crack back with 4 or 5 cards. Sadly, looking at today's top heroes indicates that this is still the case. Aurora and Viserai are both packing fridges, and Zen has multiple ways to create a Zen State token. We need to hope that LSS will print something to sidestep the armor problem, or that Cindra will play differently enough from Kodachi Fi to invalidate armor completely. Cards like Flick Knives or Hurl will do a lot to support a Mask of Momentum based strategy. Fi couldn't take advantage of these effects because it was too difficult for him to equip new daggers. Flicking a Kodachi to keep a hit chain going would have been helpful, but the short-term gain wasn't worth the long-term detriment of being down a dagger. Cindra won't have that problem. Blocking the first dagger attack is almost never correct, and Flick Knives makes blocking the second dagger irrelevant. We'll simply flick the first dagger to maintain our hit chain, then re-equip it later in the turn. This is a great time to talk about the once per turn action keyword and how it interacts with a recurred dagger. Historically, there hasn't been any way for ninjas to grant multiple attacks to their daggers, and that will likely remain the case. We don't need it though. When a dagger leaves and re-enters the arena, it is treated as a new object. In this case, that means the new dagger hasn't used its once per turn action yet. You could attack with a dagger, flick it on a later chain link, re-equip it with Cindra's effect, then attack with it for a second time. Knives Out, which has only ever been worth a maximum of 3 damage, will regularly reach 4 value in Cindra because of her ability to presumably attack 4 times with daggers. Cindra's ability to cheat dagger hits with Flick Knives has more applications than just maintaining a hit chain for Mask of Momentum. It also empowers conditional players like Bleed Out and Stab Wound. Bleed Out saw play in Kodachi Fi but had the same weakness to heroes with armor. Blaze Headlong is great, but Leg Tap is a lot less impressive if the second dagger doesn't hit. Flick Knives will discount Bleed Out by 1 against any hero that can't prevent damage. Pair that with a hit from the first dagger, and Bleed Out is a 0 for 4 with Go Again. Stab Wound also had play in Kodachi Fi as a 0-cost 3-block blue that could sometimes deal 4 damage at the end of a chain. You weren't ever happy to attack with it, but it was better in the deck than a card like Winds of Eternity or Flusterfist. Cindra's ability to hit with 4 daggers in a turn turns Stab Wound into a potential 0 for 6 at blue. Those are Zen numbers, baby. Salt the Wound is an all-star in Ninja, and going ultra-wide with Cindra says we get to play it at blue as well. Blood Runs Deep lets us go even wider on these big turns. Dagger Dagger, Flick Hurl, Cindra, Dagger Dagger, Blood Runs Deep, Stab Wound presents an additional 8 damage as an on-hit. That sounds a lot like Magical Christmas Land, considering that Draconic Dagger will presumably cost resources to attack with, but it exemplifies the alternate damage route that Cindra has available to her. If you've played against Viserai, then you know how obnoxious split damage is to deal with. The difference between a rune chant and a flicked dagger is that non-arcane damage prevention is much more rare and harder to use well. We've never had a hero that could abuse flick knives the way that Cindra can. Uzuri has been our best example of a strong user of the gloves, using it to convert her daggers into defense mitigation at the end of a game. But even so, she would usually only get 3 or 4 raw value out of it tops. Cindra won't need to be so reserved with her use of the equipment. There isn't any reason that she can't flick a dagger every turn, especially considering that attacking with draconic daggers will discount the cost of her ability. Fealty can compensate for any non-draconic typing on her bleedouts, salt the wounds, or stab wounds, which should make recurring the daggers trivial. There's a reason that the price of flick knives here in the US has tripled in the last week since Cindra's reveal. Getting to deal an extra point of damage, especially one that counts as a hit, every turn of the game is massively impactful. Blood Runs Deep is impressive when considering it as a combo enabler with Stab Wound, but it's usually a Blaze Headlong on its own. 2 Draconic Dagger attacks discounts the cost of Blood Runs Deep to 0, at which point it threatens a total of 4 value, split over 3 instances of damage. This will be a massive threat in the late game. Stopping 1-1-2 is a lot harder than stopping 4, and 2 of that damage can't even be blocked. Blood Runs Deep even blocks for 3. What more could a ninja ask for? One last card I'll talk about is Concealed Blade, which has never been great and admittedly still isn't, in my opinion. The main advantage of the card is the re-equip text, which isn't very valuable when playing as a hero who can re-equip daggers for free. What Concealed Blade does is give you play into Passover. All 3 Mystic heroes are currently meta powerhouses, and all 3 play Passover. The card was already one of the better chi instants due to its ease of play, and incidentally hosing the ability of both Draconic Ninjas is pure upside. Fi skirts the issue by playing additional copies of Phoenix Flame, but that unfortunately means playing the worst card available to the hero in his deck. Cindra is much better off. Even if Concealed Blade isn't always great, it's still a 0-cost 3-block blue that sometimes helps you trigger Mask Momentum or push an on-hit. And of course, it can help you keep your hero power fully active after a Passover by letting you grab a new dagger to equip. LSS referenced a lack of good graveyard hate as a reason to ban blue Count Your Blessings, while alluding to the release of better banish effects in the future. Concealed Blade and a 3rd dagger in your inventory will likely be very important to ensure that you always have 2 available. I'm so excited for Cindra, if for no other reason than to see how much more fun a Draconic Ninja designed in 2024 is than one designed in 2021. We'll need more information to know how truly powerful she is, but at the very least, she gets to use all of Fi's best tools. I can only imagine that she'll build on what Fi can do and be even more threatening as a result. To all of my US viewers, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I really appreciate your support, views, and your comments, and am excited to post more videos for you to enjoy. Until the next time I see you on Daily Fab Gameplay, take care.